Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yusman Endah Pangesti. A retailer breaks all the rules. Don Quijote won a cult following in Japan by giving local stores unprecedented control. Can that strategy work internationally? In tiring a branch of Don Quijote, the ubiquitous Japanese discount chain can be a jarring experience. At the entrance of every location is an array of exotic fish that would put many pet stores to shame. It might feel like a drugstore inside, with rows of obscure onions, thin cream for damaged skin made from fish roe for sale. Go upstairs, and every floor takes on a different identify, a clothing shop with rows of kitschy shirts next to a boutique area with coach bags, then an electronics shop that sells iPhone accessories as well as cassette tapes. For years, Don Quijote, an unclassifiable seller of everything from humidifiers to sex toys, has been a cult phenomenon in Japan, favored by the cash-strapped households of the so-called recession generation. Now, it's big business, thanks largely to the discounters' rabbit from base. Its parent company, Tokyo-based Pan Pacific International Holdings Corp., is on track to become Japan's fifth largest retailer, with revenue likely to reach 1.4 trillion yen or $12.5 billion in the fiscal year ending June 30. That's a remarkable feat for a chain that barely sells online and does almost no conventional marketing. Now, Don Quijote is trying to come up with a strategy to take its unique formula across Asia, eyeing locations in Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines to aid to recent experiments in Singapore and Thailand. Chief Executive Officer Koji Ohara and founder Takao Yasuda are betting that an only in Japan retail phenomenon can translate abroad and buck the trend towards online shopping that's hobbled merchants worldwide. I haven't seen anything else quite like Don Quijote, says Michael Coston, a retail analyst in Tokyo for Japan Consuming. Its chaotic, messy stores, which believe what's behind it a highly disciplined, extremely rigorous management philosophy. Investors seem to agree. Pan Pacific's shares have climbed 34% in the past year, giving the company a market value of 1.2 trillion yen. As convention-defying as its literary namesake, Don Quijote is a little like a mess-up of TG Maxx, Dollar Tree, Costco, and the no-frills grocer Aldi, with a dollop of Japanese eccentricity thrown in. It also shares DNA with European brands such as Flying Tiger Copenhagen, whose stores stock an unpredictable mix of cheap products intended to spur impulse buys. Retail experts have described Donkey as it's popularly known as a jungle, a hoarder's paradise, even a fire hazard with shelves so heavily packaged they look as if they might fall over. But the heart of its strategy is simple. Floor staff should have near total autonomy to decide what it to sell. Store managers control merchandising, negotiating prices directly with suppliers, and decide how to change sales displays to keep customers coming back. And they come anytime they please, since all locations stay open 24/7. In the past year, Don Quixote has closed branch offices and cut the number of regional level managers to ensure store staff answer to fewer people and make decisions themselves. Managers can spend on costly frills when needed. Consider the roller coaster installed on the roof of Dunkin's outlet in Tokyo's Roppongi Entertainment District, never used because of complaints from neighbors, or the Ferris wheel in front of one Osaka store. At the seven-story outpost in Tokyo's Shibuya neighborhood, that flexibility is plain to see. During a recent visit, a shelf facing the beauty section heaved with cooling wipes, sunscreen, and multicolored deodorants. Until that morning, managers Yuhi Hasebe says the space had been devoted to moisturizers, anticipating warmer weather. Staff decade to make a swap. They were also chasing a vendor to send more stock of a gadget that waxed nose hairs, a surprise hit they can barely keep on the shelves. Downstairs, the food area drew a teenagers with tapioca milk tea, a trendy beverage in the capital. Hasebe says the maid soon add a section for spicy snacks, designed to appeal to Chinese tourists. Unusual in risk-averse Japan, experimentation isn't avoided but rather encouraged. We're just always in a trial and error mode, he says. That ability to change test in largely a function of Don Quixote's researching strategy. Almost half of its products are leftover goods that manufacturers couldn't otherwise sell. Most Japanese retailers ship unsold items back to producers minimal payment, so manufacturers will eagerly resell them for next to nothing, which is where Don Quixote steps in. Analysts estimate that half the company's gross profit comes from selling such leftover items acquired on the cheap. Don Quixote has successfully taken the pulse of Japanese consumers for 4 decades, but as it expands, it also must grapple with its newfound size. Last fall, Pan Pacific made its largest acquisition, a 28.2 billion yen deal to take full control of Uni, a 182-store chain that it's now working to convert to Don Quixote-style discount emporiums. Analysts say that effort, which will involve indoctrinating Uni senior management and store staff into Dunkin's decentralized retail philosophy, will be the company's biggest short-term challenge. Appealing to overseas shoppers also may prove a struggle. Founded by Yasuda in 1978 as a Tokyo variety store called Thieves Market, the chain had never made a serious effort to expand outside Japan, where it has about 300 locations, until 2 years ago. While the operating company changed its name to Pan Pacific in February to reflect these wider ambitions, it says it's still in an experimental mode for foreign stores. CEO O'Hara wants to eventually generate at least one-third of sales abroad. That means studying foreign consumer habits and hiring locally, as the chain does for store managers and staffers in Singapore and Thailand. It's also tweaking offerings. Don Quixote devotes as much as 80% of the Singapore stores to food, betting on the popularity of Japanese classics such as sushi and donburi. That compares with only 30% in its Japan's stores. And listening to local helped Danki score a hit selling baked yams year-round in tropical Singapore, even though they're typically eaten only during cold months in Japan. Even if Don Quijote implants itself in a few new Asian markets, it will still be far from matching the success and global name recognized of Japan's larger retail superstars. Fast retailing costs, Uniqlo and Ryohin Keikaku's Muji management seems confident about their prospects in Thailand and Singapore, but that's not a big enough market to give the international push a major impact, says Sokayano, a retail analyst in Tokyo for Goldman Sachs Group Inc. The hurdle is still high for them. Lisa Du with Ayaka Maki. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.